Hello, guys. We are glad you are here at the Real Talk at the Round Table.
Yeah, glad you're here with Coach William Forcum and Coach David Smith.
That's right, and we've got a powerful episode today. Today, we had Scotty going to be here. Scotty didn't make it, so we've got something special for you lined up. You won't want to miss this. Matter of fact, these next 3 weeks, there's going to be so many prizes given away, you won't want to miss this.
That's right.
Now, today's topic is going to be talking about change that produces transformation.
Ooh, that's a powerful topic, David.
That's right, it is.
It produces transformation. You know, we have to change to transform.
That's right. And you know, a lot of people understand that as long as you are in your comfort zone, we're not going to change. People love the same thing they did yesterday, but that's the definition of insanity.
It's true.
In order to change, you have to come over here, out of your comfort zone.
To do the same thing and expect different results.
That's right. However, this is not going to change. This is not going to cause transformation. This is going to cause change. However, we're going to do this to produce transformation.
Caterpillar into a butterfly.
That's right. And we've got some great announcements. We've got some great things that's going to be coming today. But the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the great rewards that are coming.
That's right. Okay, let's do it. The great rewards. You know, it reminds me of the story of rewards. You know, without rewards, where would we be? What kind of
what's going to be the drive for you if you don't have rewards?
That's exactly what I was trying to say, David. Thank you.
As a matter of fact, one said, I want you to run the race as to win the reward.
Ooh, the prize.
Now,
yes.
The thing is, we've got some great things. We're going to be giving tons of things away. Some small, some big, all different kinds of things. We're giving it away. And it's going to be constant in this episode, next week, and the following week to produce what we're getting ready to do.
That's it.
So remember, change that produces transformation. Now, I'm just going to make a quick announcement.
Come on.
The middle of next month, we have another community that we got coming through. But this community, we have a community just for coaches that we are exploding, and we have tons of things coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
And in this podcast, every single person that posts a comment is going to win a prize.
Wow.
That's right.
Does it matter what it is?
I'm going to tell you what the prize is.
No, I mean the comment.
Nope. As long as you're posting a comment, as long as it's real. I mean, you're not just going to say one and get a prize.
Okay.
But as long as you have a question or a comment or anything, you're going to get a prize. I told you there's going to be a lot of prizes coming. Okay?
That sounds like a reward.
That's right. Rewards, prizes, all of it is coming. Plus, we're going to be giving things away just for spite, just because you're special. You're listening to this podcast, and that means you are special.
That's right. I like that.
Okay?
I like that.
So we're going through a lot of changes right now. So we're going to reward everybody for that. First of all, we have the absolute coaches connection, the coaches group
community.
The community, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
and this community is the powerhouse. This is the connecting all. This is everything for coaches, and everything is going to be inside that community.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have a community for coaches.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Oh boy.
Another community is coming.
Come on.
But we have to give it a little bit of time.
Oh boy.
The second community that's coming, Christians.
Christians?
That's right, Christians.
So we're allowed in?
All Christians, as long as you believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God, the only begotten Son, you're in this other community.
Yeah, but even the demons in hell believe and tremble.
Well, then they'll tremble in this community. So this is going to be, this community we got going right now is everything coaches. The next community is everything Christian. We've got much more coming, but the powerhouse is coming. Okay.
Come on and get on the train. We are going to ride all the way through, and we're going to take you along with us. So you don't want to miss either one of these communities. I like it. I like it, David.
Now, I'm going to put it this way. We do things right now in Zoom or Google Meets. We're teaming up to come out with a powerful thing that's going to help everybody out. We're stepping Zoom to the next level.
The next level.
300 people per meeting is how we can do it.
How about that?
That's going to be huge meetings, guys.
Right on.
So there's going to be no limits. You can't say, well, I wasn't able to get in. Was there 3 people in that meeting? You could still get in.
Like 297 more available. It's more of like a webinar, right? I mean, not everybody's going to be
300 people can talk in these groups because it's going to be a business Zoom.
Give me some order in that chaos.
That's right. So they're business Zooms, which gives us higher capability. We've already got the Zoom. We're setting all the things up right now, and it gives us higher capability. Now, because we're set up as a business, we get 300 captivity for everybody can talk. Now, there will be moderators, so if there's a lot of people, we'll mute them.
LLC.
And actually, there's a difference about that. Not going to be LLC no more.
Not going to be LLC anymore. Huh. What are we going to be?
It's going to be a corporation.
Ooh.
So we're going to the next level.
Okay.
So also...
This is news to me, too, if you couldn't tell.
Also, on the next point, if we do a webinar, we can have up to 1,000 people. So we can have up to 1,000 people in a webinar with a panel of 100, or we can have a group of 300 people in one.
So why are we doing these communities, David? But let's start with the coaches community. What's the purpose? Like we're going straight into the details, and I love you for it, dude. That's you, dude. But why are we doing this?
And I'm going to put it this way. I, myself, have a heart for the people. You have a heart for people. We love for you to grow. And our focus is on you. Now, we're going to grow as well, but our focus is on you. And as you grow, we all grow. Now, we don't have to worry about what is our reward. It comes later, right? Our focus is on getting you, as far as the coaches getting to the next level and helping the people out there. I can only help so many. Will can only help so many.
It reminds me of a good Zig Ziglar quote. You can get whatever you want if you help enough people get what they want.
That's right. And we can only do so much. There's only so much time in a day.
Sure.
So if we're focused on me, our limits are here.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we focus on everybody, helping everybody, if everybody just helps one, imagine how big it would be.
Come on.
Well, if everybody helps 2, even bigger. If everybody helps 5 people, wow.
That's multiplication, brother.
Yep. Compound multiplication.
It is. It sure is.
So our focus is on you. So the first, we're going to really build and get you coaches in a powerful set. Then on top of that, we're going to go to the next level and powerfully impact the Christians.
Okay.
Now, in the comments below, we've got some things coming. We're looking for your feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesdays, we're going to be launching something new. Starting the first Wednesday of June. So when we do this, right now we're looking for your input as to what topics that we're going to be talking about immediately. And so we'll have the live podcasts on Thursday, like always. And you do want to get into these podcasts because we're going to start flooding so much through these that it's going to be so powerful. And on top of that, we have something really special coming Wednesdays.
I'm still waiting to hear what it is, David.
Now, this is all coming because if you've been watching some of our commercials, we're leading into the Madness June.
Yeah, that's right. June is going to be mad. It's almost like March, but it's June.
You know, so the thing is check this out. We have an intro call coming. It's for coaches, and it's going to give coaches everything that's for them. However, we're about ready to launch a whole new level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you that know, there's a big move coming up.
Mm-hmm.
With that, we're actually getting a larger business. Mm-hmm. We have some things going on, and so right now we're an LLC. That is going to cease to exist as soon as we go into a corporation.
Right on.
So it's going to allow for more benefits and more growth.
Right.
So all of this is coming in stages. But the first stage is you guys.
That's right.
Second stage is the Christians. Third stage, I'm not going to talk about that yet.
Okay.
But starting Wednesdays, they won't be live. They'll be recorded and then put up.
Okay.
But news in development. So a lot of people are out there, things happen in the world, and some is bad news, some's good news, whatever. But we're going to be talking about the things that prepare us for what we need to do. For instance, Intuit used to do a budgeting app. They went down, and another company prepared their people before that happened so that they were able to handle the extra business.
Right.
We're going to do that, whatever is getting ready to change, to prepare you guys for the next level.
Yep.
And so these will be different things, topics that you're looking for. It'll be whatever is for personal development of things that's getting ready to happen so that you are prepared and able to do it. Student loans went on a pause. And then everybody's like, oh, I got time gap. Nah, you were still earning interest on those.
Right.
And then when they relaunched it, it was like, we're getting going. A lot of people didn't catch on the bandwagon, and they came after a lot of people. So
and just sitting back waiting for the government to pay their bills.
Yep.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. So we're going to have a little bit of skit that's going to help you prepare for whatever's coming.
I like it. There's something special about skits. It really gives us a chance to really tap into the intuitive and put a little show on. I like it.
Yep. And so again, it's all geared towards you. And so my question is, why do we want to change?
Well, we want to change because we don't want to be like a dirty, stagnant pond. We don't want to wreak disease and death. We want to be alive and flowing.
That's right. I heard the phrase, can't train an old dog, can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
How accurate is that?
That's a lie. That is a lie from the pit of hell, I think. I know a lot of old folks that are like changing and transforming day in and day out. I see it every day. And
I always say, if I'm not growing, if I'm not changing, I don't need to be here.
Ooh, come on.
Right? So as long as we are here, we should always be growing, always learning new stuff. And I'll tell you something. For this last month, I've been doing a lot of researching, a lot of studying, and it's been exciting me. I've been really excited, and it's like looking for the greater.
And you're on your own, pathway of change and transformation, caterpillar into a butterfly. And I think that's so important, David, because if we're not, then we can't give away something that we're not doing.
That's right. Yep. And, so it's so powerful when you do that because, one, you're going to change, you're going to grow. But then how you have grown, those skills can also help others. Now, as far as coaches, there's certain things that we need to do. Coaching with boldness is key.
Yeah, it is.
You can have a coach that cushions things up and you don't really grow. They're a cheerleader for you.
Sure.
Do you want a cheerleader or do you want to get pushed into your next level? And so the key is
walking that tightrope is difficult. I think it takes encouragement, and to have those tough talks that coaches should have with their clients.
And the key is think of it this way: if you're out there and somebody's pushing you for better, one more,
yeah,
one more. Well, who are you? What have you done? I've done it. I've been there. I've succeeded. And I'm helping you get there too.
Yeah.
And when they trust you and they're there for you, they want you to be excited for them. So, and as a coach, you don't want to do this, but it happens anyhow. You don't want them to look for your acceptance, for your praise.
Sure.
But it's going to happen. Right?
Yeah, it will. It will. But like you said, you want to steer away from it as much as you can. Instead of saying, I'm proud of you, say what?
Well, don't say anything. Push them to the next level.
Hmm.
You
Well,
know?
what if they're stuck and they're looking for your validation?
You know, there's this one person I know, and they have 3 answers. Anything you ask them, they have 3 answers. Can you tell me what those are?
No.
One is, yes, here you go. Yes, but let me train you first. And what do you think the third one is?
Absolutely no, no way, no how. Just
No,
kidding.
they do not tell you no any way, shape, or form. What they'll do is they'll say, I have something better for you.
Something better for
They'll redirect you.
you.
So a powerful coach is going to redirect when needed.
Right.
And so that's what's going to produce change. You don't, I'm disappointed in you, Will. That would discourage you. And it's like, wait, why is he disappointed in me? That's either going to, 1, challenge them to go even better,
Sure.
or 2, make them run.
Again, the focus is on you. It's, I'm proud of you. I'm disappointed in you. Those I'm statements as coaches are toxic.
Yep. So instead of doing that, it's called redirection.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're doing something great, keep directing them in that path.
Mm-hmm.
If they're doing something not so good, redirect them.
Right. And a lot of us coaches, like credentialed, certified, official coaches, have been doing this for much longer than we've been certified, haven't we, David?
Oh, yeah. If you're a good coach, because not all coaches are good.
Sure.
I've seen some coaches that shouldn't be a coach.
Okay, yeah.
However, for the good coaches, ever since they were a kid, people were coming up to them asking them questions because they trusted their input. Right. They seemed like a very wise person. They seem, I've heard some say, you're a wise old soul, And, but the thing is people trust you since you were a kid or a teenager or a young adult. They've been coming to you for many years. You didn't just, oh, I'm a coach. Oh, I can do this very good.
Yeah.
Those are usually the coaches that ain't that good.
The most common denominator that I've seen in every single great coach, David, including you, is integrity. Mm-hmm. Integrity. We have to be men and women of integrity to be great coaches. It reminds me of a quote, again, by Zig Ziglar. The most powerful persuasion tool that we have is our integrity.
And I'll tell you something. Integrity takes forever to build.
Yeah.
Lose it like that.
Right.
It's like your morals. Mm-hmm. Your morals are stuck in you, built from birth. You start getting morals. Mm-hmm. It's hard to change your morals.
Yeah.
But when you do, they stick in and they last. Mm-hmm. A person that doesn't have morals, they're all over the place, and it's also seen.
Yeah.
So these are things, characteristics of yourself that take a long time to get, and it's over history. You move into another area. Who are you? Where do you come from? When I first moved here into Tennessee, I'm from all the big cities. And I went out into the country. Mm-hmm. And my neighbor, he's like, you ain't from around here, are you, boy? He could just tell by how I talked, how I walked, and I'm not familiar to them. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I was called to take over a church there. Because of my image where I was and what I was doing and the covering that I had, they asked me to come take over this church. However, the people in that was in the area did not trust me because they didn't know me. It took a long time for them to start to trust me. Because down here in the South, I'm not from New York.
It's different. It's different.
However, they called me a Yankee. And I kept telling them, I'm not New York. I'm Detroit.
Still a Yankee.
But I was still a Yankee. And I don't understand that. And they were like, anything north of the Mason-Dixon line is a Yankee. Now, I've been here long enough that I've earned my key. And they don't call me a Yankee no more. And they say I've grown in as a Southern now. Okay? I don't talk as fast. There's certain things that I have changed a little bit.
Say the word wash.
But the key is it takes time.
Yeah.
I didn't come down here and all of a sudden had respect.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew me.
So, David, I've got a question. I want to change, but I'm not sure how. What do I do?
Well, the best thing is we study to show ourselves approved. As we study, whatever we're looking for, we can actually find how to do what we need. Now, we don't know what we need, how to change, or what to change. Well, we have this, study into that a little bit. Well, maybe if I change this a little bit and study that, we study, and then we have the support. That's what coaches are.
Mm-hmm.
They'll help guide you on what you need to search out, what you need to study, and then they'll push you to the next level to make sure that you do it.
It just reminds me of a session that was with Jason. We'll leave his last name out. Fellow coach today, and he was opening up, and I was opening up. We were having a bro-to-bro moment. It's powerful, and I love Jason. He's been on the podcast before. He's got him scheduled for another time, 3 months from now, and he was talking about how hard it was, in his current season, but how he was filled with hope that it was going to get better. And we'll leave those details out. But I brought in something. I said, I've got my calendar laid out for the next year or something, and it's open. I've got different things that I can plug in. But for the most part, I've got that structure, that framework there, and I use it. I have to. If I don't, then I'm not going to get paid. I'm not going to show up for my clients. I'm not going to, be responsible and do the things. And it was like in the middle of it, whenever there's room for God to move, the stuff that we can't plan, how can we just go? Jason says he's like, dude, walking on a treadmill is better than sitting there, right? He's like, just do something. And then as those creative juices start to flow.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of reminds me of a great coach. And once I say this, most people know, but I'm not going to mention the coach's name. Just do the darn thing.
Ah, yes.
So the thing is it's just that encouragement, that little extra push. Now, we don't make you do anything. I'm not going to say, hey, Will, jump down and give me 20. This is not the military, right? However, we like to give encouragement.
Sure.
So we get you to come up with the idea, because after all, it's your journey, right? Mm-hmm. And then when you got the idea, what you're going to be doing, we encourage you to take the next level. Just do it. Just do the darn thing.
Right.
I love the coach that said that because it's so powerful. It's so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe you're lacking the want to, but you have the know-how. And you come to a coach and get some encouragement. Maybe it's vice versa. Maybe you have the know-how, you're lacking the want to.
Mm-hmm. And the key is this. Take the analogy of a horse. I love riding horses, okay? Well, occasionally, I don't care how good you are, occasionally you will fall off that horse. Mm. When you fall off that horse, how fast you get off your butt in pain and get back on that horse.
Depends on how far he catapulted me into the air and what I land on.
What I have come to find out, it don't matter how far I have been catapulted, how far I have fell, it depends on who's around. Mm. Because if somebody is around that I really respect, I get up, I kind of shrug off, I act like I'm not injured, and I try to get back on that horse. Right? You're with for the guys, you're with your lady. For the ladies, you're with your men. When you fall off that horse, you get up, act like nothing happened, and right? You don't want to show any weakness, right?
The power of having somebody believe in you there when you are doing your thing, it's incredible.
Yeah. So that's why if you're by yourself, you're going to weep in your sorrow. Wham, look at me. You got somebody with you. I have too. You got somebody with you, push you up. Matter of fact, I was in a wheelchair for about a year. And one of the times I came down and there was a little bump and the wheelchair did not get over that bump and threw me.
Ooh.
And I ended up, on the ground and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like in tears and I'm like sorrowing and all that kind of stuff. 2 people came up to help me up. It's like, come on, let's get you up. I was like, no, I'm fine. Just leave me alone. one grabbed one arm, one grabbed the other arm. They picked me up and put me back in the chair. It was funny because they weren't going to take a no for an answer. They're like, you get back up.
That's a good story of a good Samaritan. Two good Samaritans that wouldn't take a no. I like that. I like that.
But it got me back on the horse, you know, and so to speak. And so the thing is, when you have people around, they're going to get you back on that horse quicker. That's why you have a coach.
Yeah.
Because they're going to push you, they're going to encourage you, they're going to get you to the next level. Now, you may say, I've got everything together. I have this all the time. Matter of fact, yesterday, I was talking to this guy and lady, and she's like, oh, well, you know, I have all my finances together. As I was talking to her, I realized she had no clue what she was doing. She had some investments. She didn't know how to invest. They were very low investments, but at least they were investing.
Sure.
Okay. Didn't have no debt, really. So in other words, you have debt, but it's acceptable, I guess.
Right.
So as we were talking, I realized in my head, I'm like, you definitely need a coach. But they were like, no, I'm good financially, but I know somebody that does need a financial coach.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, that's great. We can help them out, and then eventually you'll get to help.
Right.
Because I can tell that you need one, you just don't realize it. Sometimes we think we have a problem, or we know we have a problem, but you know what? There's sometimes we think we got it all handled when we don't.
Yeah. I think it's a great point, David. I think that a great coach illuminates the problem and guides you into your own solution.
And think of it this way. Help me, help you.
Yeah.
Help me, help you. How many times did he have to say that? But the thing is like, if you think of it, I only have a coach when I have a problem, you've got the wrong part.
Right.
Because look at the celebrities.
Yeah.
Every single famous person, every single sports person, they have at least one coach all the time.
Sure.
Most of them have 2 or 3 at all times.
Yeah, they're recognizing the need of personal development, being proactive, and putting their money where their mouth is.
So the thing is check this out. Okay, well, I fixed this problem. I'm done. Are you really? What about the next one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any other ones. You'll find it.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I've had a client for a long time, and they never leave because it's like when this is taken care of, something else always comes up.
Sure.
And when that other something comes up, they know they can just call me. Hey, I'm a call away. You know, because they've got me in their corner. A sports coach, you know, they're playing basketball, whatever, they have a coach. Whenever they need them, they call them. Hey, I'm struggling on making the shot. What can I do? Now, they're professionals. They can make the shot.
Sure.
But they still struggle from time to time.
Right.
You know?
How many shots did Michael Jordan miss?
Oh, it was billions. But the funny thing is, nobody ever talks about that. They only talk about the ones he made.
Right. Come on.
You know, but you make more failures than you do successes.
That's it.
But you fail forward.
That's it.
You learn from the mistakes to become better. Nobody that is successful never failed. Every single person that's successful has failed millions of times.
Yeah. You know, let failure become your teacher.
Yep. Because that's how you get molded.
And that's your identity.
That's right. And you know what? We were talking about getting the characteristics, the morals, your integrity. Guess what? The failures create integrity. Because let me ask you something. Well, you're perfect. There's nothing wrong with you. How can you help me out? Because you haven't gone through nothing.
That's good. I like that.
But
hold on. We gotta. God is perfect. He sent His Son. I gotta think this through here. Jesus led a perfect life, but then there was that transaction at the end, wasn't there, when He took all of our sin debt and failures upon Him, and now He's our relatable high priest.
Yeah, because a perfect, innocent blood was shed. So the thing is like, why would I come to you, Will, if you haven't done anything? However, you've been through some things.
Sure.
So when I'm struggling in that, I know you can help me because you've been there.
And vice versa.
You know, so the thing is we go to people who's been through things. Those things is integrity.
Yeah.
Okay, that creates the integrity. Now, you could go through things and do it the wrong way, and that's not going to create integrity. That's going to create how bad you are. However, the strong people always succeed through everything.
There is safety in counselors.
It depends on where you're going, what you're doing. You do need somebody to talk to. You need that support. You got to get it off your chest.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit in it.
Right.
And so that's the biggest key. If you hold it, bottle it in, and I'm real good. I used to be really good at that. You know, I come from Detroit.
Right.
So the thing is I can't let anybody know anything. I bottle it in.
Right.
And you can tick me off. Joe can tick me off. Steve can tick me off. And then Bob comes and I tear him a new one. Because you
Not
have
to mention Laura, Sue, and Sally.
Yeah. You have to be able to release, because if you don't, one person's going to get the wrath from everybody, you know, because it's been bottled up.
Right.
But where I come from, you can't show weakness. You can't shed a tear because guys don't cry. So you have to bottle everything up, but then...
And that's crazy how it makes guys weaker. The ones that don't cry, it makes them weaker.
Yeah, because they're bottling up.
Carrying it.
Yep. And then one person, and they're like, wait, I didn't do that much to you. Why are you attacking me?
Right.
Well, it was everybody else, and you were the final straw.
And normally it's the ones at home, families. They get it.
Yep. Because they're always there, so usually they're the ones that pick the last straw. But sometimes it's not family. Sometimes it's out in the world. And then sometimes it makes you end up in prison because you went too far.
It's true.
You know? Well, self-defense is only this far. You went this far and costed yourself some time.
Right.
You know? So the key is you don't want to bottle it up. You want to let it out. So a lot of people find somebody they can trust. Well, especially with finances. Can you trust your family?
To do what?
To know your personal finances?
I wouldn't want my family knowing my personal finances.
Yep. Can you trust your friends?
No.
It's hard to find somebody that you'll let deep into your real personal stuff.
I don't want to use the word distrust, but I will use the word boundaries.
Well, the thing is the more you let somebody know about your deep personal stuff, the easier it is for them to cut you in the back.
Yeah, it's true.
So you keep people at a distance. Now, I'll tell people everything in the world, but there's certain things I just can't tell them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't give them all the details. Well, when you have a professional, a coach, you trust them with everything. You'll go with them because they don't know you other than what you tell them, and they're there for you. They're not going to take your information and blab it to the world. You know, my brother, Steve, I told him something, and about a week later, Amy told me the same exact thing, but the whole story was different.
Telephone.
That's right. It just went, each time it went to a different person, it changed a little bit. By the time it got back to me, I knew where it came from, and it was completely wrong. You know, and things like that happen. That's why people are careful of who they talk to.
Right.
You know, basic stuff, they'll talk to everybody. And that's where your coach steps in because you can trust them.
Yeah.
And they'll take you to the next level because they know exactly what they need to do.
You sign a contract where there's a confidentiality clause.
Now, the only difference is, like clergy is protected 100% unless you're causing harm to yourself or someone else. Everything is kept completely private. The law cannot even break that confidentiality.
Right.
With a coach,
define harm there because I feel like that's important.
I'm going to kill you, Will.
Okay, there you go.
That's harm.
Yeah, you're on recording, by the way.
So you better not die because they're going to come looking for me, right? But no, we are cool like that. We can joke like that. But anyhow, now a coach, we are not protected by law. So we hold you completely confidential in everything unless the law comes to us. Now, if a police officer comes to us and says, Will's one of your clients. Yes, he is. And so we need you to tell us his personal business. I can't do that. However, the courts bring a subpoena. Now I have to open it up.
Right.
Okay. Clergy does not open, but a coach does. So don't do anything legally wrong.
Because separation of church and state.
Right. So basically, with a coach, don't do anything wrong, and you're fine. We will not share anything that you tell us with anybody unless the court subpoenas, which is only if you do something majorly wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, coach can help you be proactive and things, but we're not lawyers. Okay.
That's right. And by the way, as a coach, we won't tell you anything legally. In other words, we will not diagnose you. That's not our forte. We will not give you legal advice. We won't give you anything professional. Yeah. We are here to promote you, to push you, to elevate you, to excite you, to get you to the next level. But we are not giving you professional stuff.
We'll give you professional
wisdom.
Yeah, and coaching and guidance, but we won't give you advice,
right.
Legal advice. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, good clarification.
Yeah.
However, some coaches, like I know one coach, he's a counselor and he's a coach. I was a pastor and a coach. Now, we don't do those together. They cannot counsel you and coach you at the same time.
Again, boundaries.
You have to do them separately. If you come here, it's this. If you come here, it's this. When I was a pastor, you come to the church, I'm a pastor. When you come outside of the church, you come to my office, that's coaching, completely separate.
Yeah.
You have to, we wear different hats, but you have to make sure what hat is on.
Yeah. You know, and then the coaching hat never comes off, does it, David? I mean, it's always on there. Yeah, it's very important that we realize, you know, in what capacity that we're coaching or mentoring, or if we're a pastor, we're a clergyman or whatever, if we're, you know, counseling in that kind of vicinity. But for me, man, that coaching hat stays on. Even, you know, with my kids, I'm going and I'm training them up and playing with them and be a monster, you know, and tickling them or whatever it is. Like, that coaching hat's on. Because, and this is just a for instance, the oldest was stepping in as that parental role. And, you know, that's the thing. If you have multiple kids, sometimes the oldest steps in and, you know, he sees the cycle. He sees mommy and daddy, like, you know, training the other one. So he steps in, he's got his finger out. He's like, why did you do that? You know? And it's like, well, for one, I don't know who he's looking at. That's not me. For two, it's like, okay, you know, son, calm down, take a breath, and this is not your role to play. You know, go put a puzzle together. It's not for you. You know, so that coaching hat comes on, and it stays on. It's not that I put it on; it stays on.
Right. We just have to change the roles depending on what we're in. Yeah. Now, speaking of kids, I used to love...
He didn't sign the confidentiality clause.
Right. Now, I got to say, speaking of kids, I love to take, you know, the younger kids and take them as an airplane. You know, hold them by the arms and flip them. Yes. You know, I love doing that.
My mom freaks out whenever I do that.
I can't do that anymore, but that's one of the things I used to love doing. But one, I can't stand on my own 2 feet right now.
Holding them on their ankles and doing this even better. Their arms are out like this.
You know. So, but it's the things that we get to do, right? I enjoy when somebody can get to the next level. You know, and a lot of times all we do is plant seeds into their life.
Johnny Appleseed.
Yep. And hopefully you're Johnny because you're getting the seeds.
Johnny or Jenny. I mean, we're not, you know.
Or Jenny Appleseed.
That's right. You know, we need to plant the seeds. I'm so glad that you brought that up. If we're not actively prospecting, talking, building clients and client creation, we're not going to grow our practices, or we're not going to reach our goals and help the people that God's specifically sending our way.
That's right. That's very true. So, you know, I want you to send a message out there to everyone. Because in these next 3 episodes, this one, next Thursday, and the following Thursday, there's going to be so much happening in these episodes.
Wait, you said next 3, so you can't include this one.
Okay, so the next 2.
Okay.
But it's so powerful because we're leading up to June, and then the first week of June is the explosion.
The madness.
The madness starts. And so everything is leading up to, and then we're going to explode. And you want to be there for the explosion.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that.
Because I'm going to tell you something, a little secret.
Well, I like secrets.
The gifts that are being given away, the rewards that's given away, this week is at one level. Next week, higher level. And the explosions, best level. Building it up. And by the way, that's what coaches do. We build you up.
That's right.
So we're building everything up for great explosion.
That's right. Yeah. We want you to be the best you. And you know, the truth is, everybody else is taken. Be you and be the best you.
Now, I'm also going to give you another little secret. There's something that's going to be happening this coming Monday. And there's going to be a little recording. It will not be live, or it might be live. Who knows? And when it happens, talk about explosion. It's the first part of getting huge rewards.
I like it.
And so I got to tell you guys want to be a part of everything that's going to be happening because it's all for you. Okay? Now, if you're a coach, it's for you right now because it's building you up. And if you're not a coach, it's for you coming soon. Okay? Everything is for everyone. It's going to be so powerful, so impactful.
Yeah. So I've got a question right off the get about these two communities. If you're a Christian and you're a coach, can you be involved in both?
That's right.
Okay. All right.
And matter of fact, if you're involved in both, on the side, you can easily swap between the two.
Oh, I like it.
So when you log into one, you're actually logged into both. You know, so it makes it real convenient.
So I know that we're going to have some events popping up on the calendar for the coaches community. We talked about doing a lot of workshops and things like that, developmental calls. Now for this Christian community, what's going to be popping there?
So some of the things that's going to be happening, we're obviously going to have some fellowships going on, obviously.
Yeah.
There's going to be things for men, there's going to be things for women, but there's going to be things for unisex.
Cool.
It's going to be things for all the way around. So starting off, there's probably only going to be 3 events each week. But then as we go on, there's going to be hundreds. This is going to be a universe network of Christian fellowships.
We're going to have people tuning in from Mars and Jupiter, Venus.
That's right.
Neptune. I can keep going.
All over, you know.
Pluto.
Some people.
It's really a moon.
Some people, they always talk about world outreach.
Yeah.
I like the bigger picture, universe. Because, by the way, if you think about it, Earth is temporary.
I do like Milky Ways.
You know, and Milky Way's good. Especially Snickers are even better.
Whatever.
But I like the crunch. Milky Way's just too soft.
Yeah.
I like a little crunch in it.
Well, you know, sprinkle some salt on it.
Well, I like crunch, you know, like some peanuts. Give me some protein.
Sea salt.
So with that being said, I like the universe, the whole picture, right? I like the top, the bottom, the middle. I like it all. You know, and who knows? There may be some blue people over in Jupiter.
Could be.
Might be some orange people in Saturn.
Probably are blue people in Jupiter because of the lack of oxygen. That would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I don't know about Saturn.
Well, I figured all the pictures show it as red and orange. So
that is true. Did you know that the outer F ring of Saturn was braided when they took a picture of it?
Interesting.
It's true.
And I know some planets have more than one moon.
Yep.
So
besides ours. Ours is boring.
Well, ours is short term because in 100 years it'll crash into the sun or something.
Wait, what?
Well, because it keeps coming in a little bit more, right?
You know, I didn't know that.
So eventually, and I don't know, it might be 500 years. Who knows? I mean, it's a long ways away, so don't worry about it. But eventually, it's going to crash into the sun. You know, it's going to be destroyed.
Global warming.
But there's going to be several other planets But this world is going to last long enough without global warming.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the key is it's here for us now, and then there'll be other planets for us.
Yeah, and what are we doing with it here and now? How are we keeping ourselves present, plugged in, and engaged, for our sphere of influence, for ourselves, for
and
God?
You said a key word. How are you being present?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, they run through life and they're doing this, and they're doing 4 and 5 things at the same time.
Mm.
But they're not present in anything.
Wow, come on.
If you're actually present, you're in it. And for instance, I love to eat. I'm fat, so it obviously shows I love to eat.
I love to eat too.
Okay. I don't take an apple and it's done. I'm like, savor it. Yes, cookie. Matter of fact, I had some chocolate chip cookies last night that were to die for. There's this person that was making some chocolate chip cookies to take to a person to bless them. And while he was making them, he let me try a couple of them. They were soft, they were moist, they just came out of the oven. They melted. It was the best.
Come on.
Once they've been sitting for a while, they're a little bit more harder.
Sure.
But they're still soft because they were made soft cookies.
All right.
But when they're fresh out of the oven, I mean, they're like gooey.
Oh man, dude.
The best.
Yes, absolutely. That wheat flour makes good chocolate chip cookies.
Mm-hmm. And so it's savoring in every moment. When you're walking, every step, feel that step crunch as it hits the ground and crumbles whatever is under your foot.
Yeah.
Feel the presence of every single thing you do. You raise your hand. Feel the essence and the presence of your hand being lifted. Enjoy every moment. You live life so much better. You feel so much more.
Amen. Yeah, no, that's powerful. That's really powerful. And I think a lot of our younger generation, like the millennials and even the Gen Z, especially the Gen Zs, are missing that to a large degree because of the video games and the technology and the phones and the tablets and everything's digital, and we're living in a digital world, aren't we, David? So we can lose sight of the material.
Yeah, and it's funny you said that because I got to be very careful how I say this because of what we are. But there was a shooting that happened, and shot towards the head and missed and everything like that. And they were saying that this guy was a great shot, all this kind of thing, but he was a kid yet. And the funny thing is for the people that actually shoot out there, shooting is not easy. I was talking to somebody last night about it. And a lot of times, when you have military training or you have law enforcement training, you're taught to shoot center body mass. But legally, you only shoot to disable. But if I'm shooting for your hand moves very quickly.
Right.
If I shoot for the head, it's a kill shot, but your head moves so quickly.
It's true.
So I'm talking like this, I turn my head, you missed me.
Just ask our president.
Yeah. But if you go for center body mass, if it's a strong enough caliber, body armor is not going to stop it. It's going to go straight in. Mm-hmm. However, like I was shooting several guns, and a 22, I mean, easy trigger, right? Step up to a 38, and you can't just pull it easily. It takes a little bit of force. Now it's like pop, right? A 44, a little bit more power. So now it's not as easy as a 38. Now it's a little bit more of a pull.
Yeah.
Now it's like, also with more of a pull, it's also more of a kickback. A Glock, a little bit more, right? So the bigger caliber. Well, you get a really powerful one, and one hand is not going to do it. And let me just say this. For the thugs that, shoot like this.
From Michigan.
That ain't happening.
Right.
Okay?
Kill shot.
They're like a video game, just shooting is so easy and stuff. In real life, shooting is not easy. Those triggers, they have a lot of kick to it. Now you have an automatic, semi-automatic. Triggers are a little bit easier. But 99% of the guns out there, depending on the power, is how much force you have to use. So some people, if you get a 45, they can't pull the trigger. They don't have the strength. Some people, you see some people with one hand, some people with two hands. But the thing is some people have to use two hands because they don't have the strength.
Yeah, sure.
Now you play these video games, shooting is easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to shoot in a video game.
Because it's not real.
Yeah, I'm a marksman. All I do is press a button.
Right.
I'm a marksman. I'm a perfect shot every time.
You look at their thumbs and they're like muscular somehow. Their thumbs got a six-pack.
Yeah. You know, but in reality, that's not how it happens. A video game is not. You can't shoot like you can in the video games.
Yeah. You know, and this whole mentality, like going to work, doing the day job. Well, I went to work and I did what I was supposed to do. Now I'm going to unplug and just get on my game.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole mentality is like prize or reward work. There was a great man said, this is man's all, to find labor, to find his joy under the sun in his labor.
Mm-hmm.
And if we are doing that and we've got the reward system mixed with our labor, I think that's where it is. That's where the sweet spot is. And, you know, if not, then there's a disconnect.
Yes. Yep. And that's the thing is we want to make sure that we're powerfully impacted.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy every moment.
Yeah.
Get so much more out of it. I love to eat, but the slower I eat, the more I taste.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not just plowing it in just to get the food in me.
Right. And you're allowing your body to like receive it and tell you, like send messengers up to your brain, hey, I'm full.
Yep.
But you know, if we like just shovel it in, our body doesn't even know until we've got too much.
Yeah. And you know, the fact of the matter is, before the pandemic, everybody went to buffets and it was no big issue.
Sure.
Right. And matter of fact, and I even would say this, right? I have to eat faster at a buffet so I can get my money's worth.
Right, yeah.
And I would only eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
Why fill up on the fillers? Fill up on only the meat.
I'm going to get my money's worth.
And I would get 6, 7, 8 plates. And then I would have a plate of dessert.
Wow.
However, I had to eat fast enough so my body did not know I was full.
Ah, I see what you mean. So then you left and went into cardiac arrest.
Yeah, then I left and I was like, way too. And it's funny because I'm getting up to leave and I have to unbutton my pants, you know, because I ate too much that it's hurting. So I have to unbutton the pants to give me just a little bit more room.
There's your belly like, hee.
You know, so the thing is it's like, but that was the wrong, you know, mindset. I was like, I have to get the food in me.
Right.
We don't have to get the food in us, right?
Yeah.
We just have to enjoy it. After the pandemic, we noticed all the issues and stuff, and, you know, so now we don't go to buffets, you know, because the glass is up here. Like me, I'm above the glass, but most people are under the glass, and they're breathing and spitting and everything underneath the glass and on all the food.
You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Before the pandemic, we didn't even think about that. I would eat other people's spit and wouldn't even know it.
Right. It wasn't that big of a deal, but then after the pandemic, it's like, oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, now we're freaked out. So now we don't go to buffets no more. And for a fat guy not going to a buffet?
I actually just went to one yesterday.
Oh.
So, some of us still do, but you do have a point that a lot of us don't.
And the other thing, too, is I love going to Golden Corral.
Ooh,
because they had the chocolate fountain. And you stick anything in the chocolate fountain and make it chocolate.
Anything.
Strawberries and marshmallows, but then
it's like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate.
Yep, I would even stick steak in there, have chocolate steak. However, fast forward, oh yeah, don't knock it till you try it. Phenomenal. But anyhow, that way you get your meat and your dessert at the same time. Really good. But anyhow, after the pandemic, go to Golden Corral now. They don't even have the chocolate mountain. They can't have them no more.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Because anybody's putting anything in and the chocolate just gets recycled through.
Right.
So they legally cannot have the chocolate fountain anymore.
It's like whenever, the kids jumped into the chocolate river in Willy Wonka and polluted the whole thing.
Yep. So, I mean, sometimes we live through life and it forces a change that we have to adapt to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that change gets us to a better level.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets us to a different level.
Right.
Either way, change happens.
Change is going to happen.
Yep.
You're either going this way Or this way, ain't you, David?
Well, you can either go this way, this way, this way, this way. You know, the change is going to happen one of the directions.
Such a details-oriented person.
Just saying. So, but with a coach, we're going to get you to that next level the right way.
Right.
Right? And you're going to feel every part of it. Now, just to make mention, I said at the beginning, any comments or anything like that was going to get a reward.
Mm-hmm.
The blessing for me is nobody commented. The bad thing for you guys is nobody got a reward.
No reward.
However, I'm going to say this. For the first 10 people that fills out the form below to get a reward, we're going to give the first 10 people a reward.
That's mighty generous of us.
That's right. And so I still want to give rewards out because I want to make this so powerfully, so impactful for you. Now, we actually had a few people on this podcast, but nobody commented. So that's fine, but we're going to put it out for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The first 10 people that fills out that form for the reward, and just put, am I one of the first?
Now, how do they get to the form?
It's in the comments below.
Okay, that's easy enough.
That's right. And all you have to do is...
What happens when they fill the form out?
Well, the first 10 people, we will email you with a reward.
Okay. What else happens when the form is filled out?
That's it. So if you're not one of the first 10, no reward.
I got it.
But first 10 is going to get a reward. And I'm going to tell you, this one, if you are a coach, the reward is going to be worth about $300.
Ooh.
If you are not a coach,
it's coming out of mine.
The reward is going to be worth about $1,000. Now, if you're a coach, you can also get the $1,000 reward if you want. So $300, $1,000, whichever one you want.
I mean, I like options.
That's right. And we're just going to put it out there and give you the power.
I like power too.
So first 10 people that fill out this form is going to get a reward.
Options and power. That's a
right.
Win-win, baby.
Now, we love to give some announcements. We're going to start switching these announcements up. If you've noticed, a lot of our podcasts, they're pretty much always the same. Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what?
What?
We're switching them up.
Ooh, come on.
We still want to do 2 free and 1 paid.
2 free and 1 paid. Podcast?
We should start charging for the podcast. Nah, let's keep it free.
I'm still trying to keep up.
So first announcement that we're going to say is we have an absolute coaches community that if you are a coach of any kind, you need to be in this community. And by the way, the link is below.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're part of this because there's a lot of rewards, a lot of gifts, a lot of prizes. We're giving a lot of stuff to coaches, and we're creating value for every coach. We want to make the coach so powerfully impactful that they can change lives just by walking. One person just walking, his shadow blessed people.
Right on, brother.
Wouldn't that be a blessing if your shadow blessed people?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're aiming for every single coach that's in the coaches community.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's the free thing.
That's one of the free things. Completely free to be in the community. Mm-hmm. Second thing is, we have an absolute CRM. This is for anybody to help your business to the next level. Now, if you're a coach, you get a coach's snapshot, which will help you out in your personal business. It's a snapshot that was created by coaches for coaches. Mm-hmm. If you're not a coach, you could still use the platform for your business because it does marketing, it does your CRM, keeps track of all your clients. It sends out the email drip system. It's an all-in-one program. And for many, many years, I was in a search for an all-in-one. Mm-hmm. And so this is powerfully impactful, very small cost, very reasonable. What you can get for over $7,000 if you piece everything together, you get for under $200
a month.
A month. It's so powerful. Instead of $7,000, over $7,000 a month, under $200 a month. It will change your business. Even other platforms that you do the same thing, we're actually the cheapest one out there. There's one.
The most affordable.
Yes, that's even better. Most affordable. There's even one that's using the same platform that charges more and gives you less.
Yep.
So just so you know, this is one of the best out there.
Well, it is.
And I'm going to put something else out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you find one cheaper,
Oh, come on.
with the same or better value, we're going to give you $1,000.
That's coming out of mine.
That's coming out of yours, not mine, just yours.
500 out of mine.
But I'm going to tell you something.
You know you're on recording right now.
I am on recording, and I will tell you something. You have to have Absolute CRM, and if you find one cheaper, you will get $1,000. Okay?
Hey, you just put your money where your mouth was.
I sure did. Because Absolute CRM, I have done the research, is the cheapest one out there with the value.
He has. He's got it all labeled. I mean, it's ridiculous how much value the Absolute CRM has. It has bolstered. It has bolstered my coaching practice, and you don't want to miss that.
That's right. Now, the third thing we got coming, I'm going to put this to a different thing. We've got this next month coming up is going to be so powerfully impactful. Every single person in the sound of my voice and Will's voice is going to be getting power coming from this. I don't care if you're a coach. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care who you are, what you are, or anything. This next month is going to be for you because this is going to be everything about you. We've got things that's coming that's going to catapult everybody to the next level. Okay? So we want you to stay tuned. The podcast will always be a source of information for everyone, and we're going to get everybody into the best part for them.
Yep.
So we want you all to stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Now, did you have any final comments?
Oh, man, you covered a lot of ground there, and I'm just, along for the ride right now, to be honest. But, yeah, I mean, everything you said was golden. I'm completely in agreement. And I think that we got a lot of really good things coming.
That's right. And make sure you fill out the form below because, like I said, the first 10 people is going to win a huge prize. Make sure you're one of those. See you the next time on the next Bat channel, next Bat time. Peace.